What's up, everybody? I am super pumped to have a conversation with, at this point, a lifelong friend and mentor, Coach Bill Hart. What's up, brother?
Just hanging out with you, man. Highlighted my day. I look at the lineup of my calendar. It's like, oh, best part of my day is talking to Dave. This would be fantastic.
Yeah, we're starting off early together, so it's 8 o'clock Pacific. I'm in Palm Springs for the week, staying at an Airbnb with my family, so it's a little bit of a workcation. I am still working, but I'm fitting in a lot of family fun in between. How you doing, bro?
Nice. I'm good, man. Tony and I leave tomorrow for Cancun for our President's Club. We got about 1,000 people descending on a resort down there, and it's always exciting to get ready to do that. So, but yeah, man, right now my head is in this space with you, and can't wait to unpack a little bit about what you guys did in Las Vegas with the Modern Mortgage Summit.
Yeah, so I will tell you, I've been involved in a lot of events, both as a collaborator, facilitator, advisor. And then of course I have attended just a tremendous amount of events, and I really thought it was special. I'm really proud of the stage, everyone in the room. It was a pretty special group of people all in one piece of real estate. And I love the fact that there were so many people from so many different brands, so many different coaching organizations. It was just fun. So let's just start with, what were some of your takeaways, and then let's try to make this actionable. I think we can share takeaways and to help people get value market. It's a market where everyone needs a lot of help.
Yeah, so I want to say two things just prior to the specifics of my takeaways. I want to compliment you and Todd and Renee and everybody that made that event happen. I know that there were tons of people behind the scenes that I'm not calling out, so forgive me. I feel like I'm up on stage at the Oscars forgetting, who I should thank, right? But first of all, this was the second time, Dave, in 25 years that I've attended an event to be sharpened, not to present. The first time was Renee's Amplify event. You were there. And I told him that, and it was special for me because of that, really special. This was the second time, and it was equally as special for me because I sat down with my leather journal, and dude, I just made notes. This was not the Bill Hart show, right? Normally when I'm at an event, there's a certain degree of, you got to kind of be on. And man, I just sat there, and it wasn't the Dave Savage show or the Todd Bookspan show or the Renee Rodriguez show. You guys had a very unique flavor to that event. And I'm just going to make an observation. Something that I've realized, like with our company, we've got a number of players now that there are people that just don't need to do this right now, like myself, but we're doing it because we love it. And I know that's where you are, Dave. It's a cool place to be. And I just think it's part of the gestation period of the mortgage industry is we've reached a point of maturity where there are players who are in a position where they could play golf, 7 days a week and go deep sea fishing and sit home and watch Jeopardy. And they're not. They're pouring into the industry. And so that's what I felt in that room. I think that was really special. And I also felt, to your point, multiple companies represented, multiple coaching organizations represented. And I just felt like everybody kind of naturally and without being encouraged to left their flags outside of the room. It's like, that's not what this is. We are here today to discuss what's working, what's not working, what the opportunity is. And my parlance, it's always take more ground, right now, right? Hashtag take more ground. And it was all about that. So I just thought it was probably one of the most special events I've ever been to. And I just told you before we hit record, for me, it was the best mortgage event I've ever attended. And like, I don't, mean anything disparaging to anyone else that does events. There's fantastic events in this industry, and I've been to them for 30 years. This one was just different, Dave. It just felt different. Yeah, I think everybody in that room felt it. I hope you felt it virtually if you watched it. If you have not yet watched it, make sure you get the link. I assume you'll put that down below. But you just have to do this, you guys. If you're going to be in the business, Shivani Peterson said, she was quoting who was it? It was one of the $1 million listing realtors. She said, he had said over 600,000 lenders and realtors are expected to leave the industry by Q3.
Wow.
Over 600,000 lenders and realtors are expected to leave the industry by Q3. And so, you know, I think it's easy to look at a market like we're in right now, Dave, through a lens of scarcity. And all I heard from your presenters on that stage, and you and Todd and Renee, was the abundance lens. And the abundance lens says, as the market is shrinking, how much more of the market can you get? So that's my little preamble before any more specifics, but congratulations, dude. And I just mean, like, I hope you really felt the pride of delivering valuable content, creating an environment that was completely safe and nothing but encouraging. So well done.
Well, thank you, brother. And no doubt, I do feel a great sense of pride. I mean, we had a strategy. I mean, my strategy for a long time now is to be the guide,
Yeah.
and make other people the hero. And, you know, my goal was to pick some real live heroes and superheroes in our mortgage space, put them on stage, like I always do, and just say, hey, what's on your heart?
Yeah.
You know, assume that people that know you, love you, people that you love and you want to help be successful are going to watch this. And it's as close to a real live TED Talk as you're going to get in the mortgage space. So they got to pick the headline, they picked the topics, they picked what they want to talk about. And I always just think there's some magic. You know, Shayla Gifford, I can't remember, I think she sent me a video, but she said part of the magic was who you picked. And we knew we were going to be on that stage presenting, you know, like, while we know other people in the room, you know, we know all these speakers. And so we're really bringing our A game. And then she also spoke to the fact that it's, you know, it's a tough time in the market. And whenever there is tension and there is difficulty, you know, people rise, people play better. So for anyone listening to this, and if you watch the event, know that, you know, myself, Todd and Renee, we were very much like, we're the guides. We're here not, you know, to sell our products. You know, while anytime, you know, I think speakers and leaders get on stage, there's always, you know, they're not just doing it, you know, to be better family men or better family women. They're doing it because there's a business agenda and motive. But the more you can just deliver value to the audience, the better. And then one last takeaway, I hope everyone got to it, is the power of masterminding. And I do think in a market like this, mortgage professionals, you should be masterminding with people within your company and outside your company locally.
Totally agree.
You should be masterminding with realtors. It's never been more important that we're getting in person in local communities and we're masterminding with people in housing, and because that will help you be more successful. So Bill, one more thing before you unpack your takeaways.
Yeah.
I had, you know, seen all the social posts you did afterwards, and it was just like nails. Like, dude, the way you listen, the way you write down headlines and hooks. I had a question, like, as you were taking notes, were you, I mean, you were taking notes because you're a coach and you mentor a lot of people and you want to bring value back, but you're also, you know, you're incredibly compelling and valuable to watch on social media.
Thanks, buddy.
So my question is this: are you just purely in the coach's hat, and then when you sit down to put it onto social media, you're like, oh, what's the social media gold here? Or while you're watching and listening, are you like, ooh, you know, this is a coaching note and this is a social media note, and you're actually creating social media content and coaching notes at the same time?
I would love to take credit for the latter, but I am totally the former. I'm not that smart to be able to segment it out like that. Literally all I do is I make notes in my journal where you see the yellow highlights.
Wait,
That's where I go.
See one page. Let's see that page. Let's see what the next page looks. Hold that steady. Okay. Okay. And then the next one, I want to see another page.
Yep.
It's on point here. If they're just so people can get a feel. Okay. So they're pretty lean. Okay, cool. No,
I'm just kind of listening for highlights. Like, this is something I want to repeat back to a client. That's where my head comes. I'm in the coach's chair. Yeah.
So so guys, take note of that. Everyone listen to this, because you're all in the coach's chair. You know, if you're a loan officer and you want to gain market share,
for sure,
with realtors, so you're in the coach's chair for your realtor. realtors. You know, if you're in lending and you lead loan officers, you know, we're all in the coach's chair right now. And as we listen to Bill unpack this event, just make note that the last event you went to, would you be able to unpack it like Coach Bill is going to unpack this? And my guess is most of us can't, myself included. So let's have you unpack this event, bro.
You bet. Yeah. And the one key to that, by the way, is stay off my phone. That's the only way I can do that, is to stay 100% present while, you know, I'm listening to the presenter. So as you know, I flew in that morning. I missed Shayla. So I cannot wait to see the recording, by the way, because that kills me that I missed Shayla. And I missed probably 90% of Nicole Ruth, and I've coached Nicole for 7 years. So, you know, what I do know is she was talking about her planning and how she gets away and she gets quiet, and she too uses a notebook like I do. And she put up on the screen her vision and her business plan, which are just classic, you know, building champion stuff that, you know, she and I have been working on for 7 years. So she just killed it. And then ultimately her message around gratitude, I thought, was spectacular. Dan Keller, you know, brings such a strong, you know, athletic coach kind of conviction. And he said, man, we got to be problem solvers. We got to be problem solvers. And he used a line, whether it's his or someone else's, I don't know, but I'm giving him credit until he tells me different. We have to manufacture business right now. To me, that's money, Dave. Like, we have to manufacture business right now. We were in a, you know, in a period of time where, you know, the conveyor belt was just flowing with leads constantly. And if somebody didn't move forward with me, it didn't matter, because there were 5 right behind them that were ready to get pre-approved. So yeah, man, we have to, that mentality of we have to manufacture business right now, I think, is huge. Shivani, as I said, mentioned that
before we jump off that, you probably haven't listened to it, but Tim Brahim released the podcast. He interviewed me.
No, you sent it to me, but I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. I can't wait.
Yeah, but the, you know, the theme that Tim pulled out of the conversation was, you know, creativity and curiosity.
Nice.
And I just want to make sure before we go past that, I mean, I did take notes, not as good of notes as Coach Bill Hart, but after I, you know, got done with the event and I scanned all my notes and I really netted out, I just want people to anchor, like, if you're in mortgage and housing right now, you know, the North Star is being a problem solver, but having a heart of curiosity and finding problems that you have not found in a long time. And I think right. You in the business, you've never been in a creative market like this, so you just don't know. And if you've been in the business for a long time, pre-meltdown, when there were arms and there was all kinds of creative solutions, you probably forgot. You know, you either don't know or you forgot.
So true.
I just want to make sure this is a really important theme that Bill just covered, because I think, you know, being able to uncover hidden opportunities for families, you know, help families, they didn't know they could help one of their kids buy their first home through house hacking or units, but you, as a mortgage professional, were the one that brought it to them. And you realized that, hey, they had the net worth, they had the need, they had the goal, and you brought them a rep versus own, or you uncovered things that people didn't know they had. So anyways, we keep going, Bill.
Yeah, man.
Such an important theme that, you know, the industry needs to latch
on to.
So
no, thanks for adding more texture and color around that. So Shivani Peterson, who I had not met and loved, talked about over 600,000 lenders and realtors are going to leave the industry by Q3. She was quoting another source. I can't remember. It was $1 million listing guy. You would all know. Ryan, maybe? I'm not sure.
Probably Ryan out of New York, I bet. Yes.
I know. I can't. Somebody's listening and saying, I know it right now. Come on, I'm saying it, you guys. Anyway, here's what I wrote down that I drew a circle around and then highlighted. She said, the best script is to shut up and don't fill the awkward silence. It was like sales training 101, man. I loved that. And it's so magical. The second thing that she said to me that was huge, Dave, is she said, trust is at an all-time low right now. Be real. Trust is at an all-time low right now in our country. Be real. And I believe when we look at the people that we're attracted to, that's what we're attracted to. we're attracted to what I can feel is genuine. And I just thought that was a hugely important message.
One explanation mark on it, guys. When she said shut up, like she yelled at the audience, like
she did.
shut up.
She
I was
did.
like, okay, what? And,
right.
and feel the awkward silence. So shout
Absolutely.
out to Shivani. I don't know if you practiced that, but
Oh my goodness.
you got my attention, girl. That was rad.
It was magnificent. So good. So Shivani, thank you so much for that. It was spectacular. Kelly Zitlow is an old friend from the Masters Coach for years and years and years. We hadn't seen each other for a long time. And man, she's just got so much great stuff. But you know, I think the title of her talk was Unforgettable or Be Unforgettable. And she is, and she and her team are. So to be able to scale being unforgettable is pretty fantastic, right? She made some bold statements, man. And one of them was, if you're not doing video, you're being selfish and playing small. I just thought that there's so much truth in that. And you guys, look, if we had tried to communicate this 2 years ago, nobody would have listened or you'd have been offended. But in this market right now, you have to hear what Kelly was saying. What Kelly was saying is, knock that self-critic off your shoulder that says, I don't like the way I look and I don't like the way I sound and I'm not sure what I was talking about. That's being super selfish. So instead, embrace the fact that you look like you look, you sound like you sound, and you are playing small if you're not creating video. Kelly's been at it for a long time. I've been at it for a long time. I tell my clients all the time, man, if you think I've always, had the right mic and the right lighting and the right camera, much of which is thank you to Dave for giving me always quality recommendations for my stuff. Go back and look at some of the early stuff. I was like, my audio sounded like this, Dave, like, so I think it'd be really important that you should. Exactly.
Right.
And people would just be like, yeah, swipe, I'm not going to watch that anymore. And I was awful and I was too long and I just rambled and whatever. So jump into video, but Kelly had so many great stories, but in the interest of time, she rocked it on the unforgettable topic and just go follow her stuff. If you did not see this, again, I'm going to just say, go get a recording of this because you have to get this stuff internally, personally. I want you to listen to Kelly personally. And one of the things she talks about is if you send a text to her, it goes to the whole team. Such a brilliant way to approach it. So for those of you with teams, it's like all hands. Somebody's going to solve this, right? We've got them. It's like at the Ritz-Carlton. If you've ever stayed at the Ritz, this is I happen to have their Credo card here on my desk, right? But it says, we are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. And one of the things that they learn at the Ritz-Carlton is when there's a problem, when a guest has a problem, when Dave Savage has an issue, you own it until it's resolved. And then you call and make sure it was resolved. That's the way Kelly is approaching it. And that's the way she and her team create this idea of being unforgettable.
Yeah. And I'm going to put a link down below to sign up. And I have been, with Bill advocating and evangelizing video for a long time. And I think we started off just being nice and kind. And I think, it was the most provocative, most powerful, most attention getting push to do video I'd ever heard. If you're not doing it, you're being selfish and you're playing too small. Like,
right.
It is true. Like, the mortgage industry has the potential to really change financial literacy in America and to help families more than any other advisor. And video is so critical and important to, being your best and creating the most impact and value in the markets that you serve.
That's it.
Keep it rocking, bro. You're on fire.
Yeah, man. Well, let's keep rolling here because I know we got to roll. I got a coaching session at the bottom of the hour, but I want to get through it, man. So Robin, is it Lavasseur? Is that the correct pronunciation?
Lavasseur. Had
never met her before. Rocked my world. Rocked my world. She said, and there's just a whole lot of truth bombs here, right? And so if you're offended, you're offended, but you got to figure out how to do something with that. She said, we have average meetings and we have high expectations, which is entitlement. Think about that. We have average meetings. She was talking about with realtors and with borrowers. and we have high expectations. So I come in with an average meeting. I have high expectations. Nothing happens. So I have an entitlement. I don't know about you, but to me, entitlement is just one of the least attractive words in the English language. So she nailed it there. She said, we go into meetings with our agenda instead of what can I learn from this meeting, which was enormously valuable. The single biggest truth bomb, this is one that I posted on social. She said, when that realtor says to you, I'm busy, what you need to know is she's not busy, you're not valuable. Ouch. Like ouch. But it's so completely true. Are there exceptions to that? Of course. But what she's saying is, if you're not creating value, if you're not coming in presenting value the way that Dan Keller talked about at the beginning of the day, then you're just not going to be able to compete, you guys. If you approach realtors the same way that you did 2 or 3 years ago, or 5 or 10 years ago, like game over. So we have to figure out what's important to them and what's valuable to them. So to me, that was, they were just blowing up on the stage like little incendiary devices, Dave. She was blowing up truth bombs left and right, man. I am a fan of Robbins.
Yeah. And in her story, when she tells about what she overcame to become who she is in the mortgage was compelling. You missed Shayla, but she talked about it's time to pick your story.
Nice.
You all get to pick our story and pick
Nice.
one. And I know you need to go in 4 minutes, Bill, so don't feel like we need to get through every single one.
Well, let me give you the last one. I mean, Wally rocked my world as you would imagine. He's unbelievable, you guys. The numbers he does, the amount of volume he's pulling from wealth partners in his database, 80 million of his 200 million in volume from wealth partners in his database. The concierge dialers like run towards Wally's stuff. He's got a book coming out. I see Wally moving into a whole new level, Dave. I've heard him for years at Sales Mastery, but I just feel like he's really coming into his own right now. And I can't wait to see what that next chapter looks like. Denise Donnie, who I've saved for the last, because I coached Denise years ago. I'm an enormous fan of hers. And that woman, having helped 500 plus families last year, talks about the shift that we're living through, a shift right now. Very much, Gary Keller's the name of the same book, or the same name of a book he wrote some time ago. But she quoted that 44% of home buyers will be first-time home buyers in 2023. 44%. That's mind-blowing. And she said, these people grew up with smartphones in their hands. So if we're not creating video, if we're not relevant on social, if we're not interacting, if we're not direct messaging, we're hanging out in the La Brea tar pits with the dinosaurs, you guys. So we got to step up the game. Here's the thing that I thought was most valuable. She creates so much unbelievable, massive value for free. So she's got people that are attending Zoom webinars where she's providing value. And the last thing that Kai McBride mentioned to me in the back of the room, because he said, we're on the same mind with this. I think he's calling it, what does he call it? Evolve or die. And he just did an interview with him. So you check out that YouTube video that Dave did with Kai. But here's what she said to me. She said, I have 6,000 people in my database, and those are realtors. These are warm realtors, 6,000 that she said, I didn't buy. This is not a list that I bought. One way or another, I touched them at some point. They attended an event. They signed up for something. They were there somewhere. And she said, here's what I do with that 6,000 realtors. She's in the Dallas-Fort Worth, metro market. So if you're in, a small town of Wyoming, I get this is not an option. But you know what? Just open your scope. She said, I have 6,000 people in my database. And every week they get an email from me with some kind of a value add. They get a text once a week with a rate update. They get invited to monthly masterminds, which are usually in person and are always available via Zoom. And then once a quarter, I do something fun with them. You guys, as you listen to these people that I just highlighted, that's who you're competing with. And that's the reason that so many people are leaving the industry, because it's too hard. It's not too hard for you. I want you to be challenged, sharpened, and encouraged, because you have an opportunity to take more ground. Dave, thanks for creating an unbelievable event. You guys run and get the link to this so that you can what would they pay for this now for a
I think it's
virtual
$100,
recording? Yeah.
I think it's go to, our modernmortgagesummit.com and, or go to
$100.
Winbuck's website and check it out.
Come on. So that's my encouragement. Like, I really want you to do that. If you're watching this right now and you missed it, you need to invest $100 in your career and potentially your life right now. Go through the whole thing, make your own notes. Email me if you want to when you're done, bill.hart@movement.com. I'd love to hear from you. This is going to change the way that you view your future. And if there's ever anything I can do to serve you, I'm available. Dave, love you, dude. Thanks for letting me share.
Keep this going, so don't hang up, everybody. Bill, I'm going to unpack some of the things you said.
You bet.
You're always a gift, brother. Go to your coaching session, and
Thanks, brother. Always a pleasure. See you, Dave. Later, you guys.
Take care. So guys, I'm only going to go for a couple more minutes. There were a few things he said. I wanted to make sure we got all his coaching notes out. But, Wally Illerberry, how he is using the way he manages a database to recruit realtors and recruit referral partners it's what local referral-based mortgage professionals should do. I did a little poll in our Facebook group, and I asked everybody, what's more important to you? New realtor partnerships. That was one option, which, by the way, got the most votes. More referrals from current realtors. It got the second most votes. Improving your lead conversion, sales skills to improve lead conversion. It did not get the most votes. It was kind of low. Mindset was kind of low. Uncovering hidden opportunities in your database was pretty low. So guys, here's my thoughts. If you want to recruit new realtors, those other things need to become higher priorities. Your mindset has to be more positive. You need to have more attractive energy than ever. Like, if you want to recruit new realtors, if you can't uncover hidden opportunities and be a problem solver and have just exceptional lead conversion skills, guys, you're not going to be the best at recruiting new real estate relationships. It's just never been more. I've never been more clear on this. I also was at an event last week where it was for C-suite. So there's a lot of executives and leaders in the room, and they had the 10 things that you must do. 10 things you must do in 2023. And it took until number 7 to say your data, your success metrics. And I was kind of thinking, like, wait, how do you formulate your strategy? How do you do all these things that were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6? If you're not doing number 7, you're not measuring what matters. I did a Facebook post recently called, it's time for Moneyball mortgage leadership. I think as an industry, and I'm going to be interviewing Shayla Gifford soon, I'm going to be curious to see what she thinks. But most loan officers, most leaders aren't putting the first things first. Again, if you want to get more realtor relationships, your lead conversion skills need to be exceptional. Your database, how you're pulling in, all the things I just said need to be a higher priority than just the avatar itself of getting new realtor relationships. So anyways, I told you I wasn't going to go too long. I think I went 3 minutes past. Coach Bill Hart. If you got value from this short video and interview, put a like on it, whatever social media you're on. Make sure you're following both the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel and the Trust Engine YouTube channel. The Trust Engine YouTube channel is all around modern leadership, which is more important than ever. Technology is changing the world, but without leadership, no one's adopting technology or using technology. So, leadership should be your top priority. And if you haven't watched the Modern Mortgage Summit, check out a link. We'll put it down below. Take care. Appreciate everyone. And thank you again, Bill Hart. This is a wrap.